Good morning everyone. Welcome back to our English class. Today we are going to discuss our third lesson, the Kabuliwala, page number 20. This lesson has been adapted from a story written by Rabindranath Tagore. In this story, little Minnie was 5 years old young little girl who has a chatterbox. Her father was writing his 17th chapter of a new novel. He was a very patient man. He listened to all his daughter's questions and answered them without getting angry. He was a kind and caring father who was good to everyone, rich or poor. One day she saw a Kabuliwala and called him. When he looked up at her, she became frightened and go away from there. Minnie was frightened of Kabuliwala because she had a blind belief that Kabuliwalas caught children and put them into their sacks and took them away. The Kabuliwala came to Minnie's house and Minnie's father made her come out and meet him. She soon lost her fear of him, and it was a joy for Minnie's father to watch the big bearded Padan talking tenderly to the little girl. Minnie asked Kabuliwala what he had in his bag. The Kabuliwala replied that it was an elephant, and the two of them went into peals of laughter. One day there was a terrible uproar in the street. The Kabuliwala had stabbed a man who owed him money. He was then sentenced to many years in prison. Now look at page number 20. Time passed and Minnie forgot her old friend the Kabuliwala. She was growing up into a maiden. We made arrangements for Minnie's wedding. Maiden means unmarried girl. Now Minnie was grown up and she became a young girl. Minnie was getting married that night. As I sat in my study, a man came up and saluted me respectfully. At first, I did not recognize him. I then saw that it was old Rahman, the Kabuliwala. I told him that there were ceremonies going on and that he should come on another day. One day, when he was sitting in his study room, a man came and saluted him respectfully. It was Rahman, but at first he did not recognize him. But then he identified that it was the Kabuliwala Rahman. Then he told that there were ceremonies going on and he should come on another day. Look at next line. He was about to leave when he turned around and said, "May I see the little one, sir?" He still thought of Minnie as a little girl running to him and calling, "Kabuliwala, oh Kabuliwala." He thought they would talk and laugh as they had long ago. He believed that Minnie was a little girl now too. So he asked her father to meet Minnie now. I told him once more. There were ceremonies. He then gave me a small packet of dried raisins, nuts and almonds for Minnie and said, "Give this to the little one. I too have a little one like her and I think of her and bring you these fruits." He then gave a small packet of dried raisins to him and asked him to give it to Minnie. Tears rolled down from my eyes. I forgot that he was a poor Kabuliwala. He was also a father. I called Minnie and she came out dressed in all her finery. Because Rahman told that he had a little one like Minnie in his native place. Hearing this, I became very sad and called Minnie. Minnie came out dressed in all her finery. Rahman belonged to Afghanistan. Afghanistan's capital is Kabul, and so people called Rahman a Kabuliwala. Hilly regions have little scope of employment. Hence, people living there come down to the plains to work. They also bring He'll products such as fruits and handicraft items to sell to people in the plains. This is why Kabuliwala or Rahman got dried fruits for Minnie. Look at page number 21. The Kabuliwala was stunned. He had expected a little girl and instead here was a grown maiden. He suddenly realized that his own daughter would have grown up too. Stunned means shocked. When Kabuliwala saw Minnie, he was shocked because he expected a little girl. But then he realized that his daughter also became a young maiden. Look at next line. I took out some money and gave it to him and said, go and see your daughter, Rahman, and may you have happiness. He gives some money to Rahman and asks him to go back to his own country and meet his daughter. Look at next line. I had to cut down the expenses for the wedding. We would not afford the military band or the electric lights. But to me, the feast was all the more brighter because of the thought that in a distant land, a long lost father had again met his only child. Minnie's father gave some money to the Kabuliwala and asked him to go and see his daughter and also wished him that he be happy. As Minnie's father helped the Kabuliwala by giving him some money which he had to cut down the expenses for his daughter's wedding. Though he was not able to afford the military band or the electric lights, he felt that the feast was all the more brighter because he had a thought that in a distant land a long lost father would be meeting his only child again. സമയം കടന്നുപോയി. മിനി അവളുടെ ഓൾഡ് ഫ്രണ്ടായ കാബൂളിവാലയെ മറന്നുപോയി. അവളിപ്പോൾ ഒരു അൺമാരീഡ് ഗേളായി വളർന്ന് വലുതായി. അന്ന് അവളുടെ വെഡ്ഡിങ്ങിനുള്ള അറേഞ്ച്മെൻറ്റ്സ് നടക്കുകയായിരുന്നു. ആ സമയത്ത് അദ്ദേഹം റൂമിലിരിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഒരാൾ വന്ന് ബഹുമാനത്തോടു കൂടി അദ്ദേഹത്തെ സല്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്തു. ആദ്യം അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് മനസ്സിലായില്ല അത് ആരാണെന്ന്. പിന്നീട് മനസ്സിലായി അത് കാബൂളിവാല റഹ്മാനാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അദ്ദേഹം പറഞ്ഞു, ഇവിടെ ഒരു സെറിമണീസ് ചടങ്ങുകൾ നടക്കുകയാണ്, പോയിട്ട് അടുത്ത ദിവസം വരാൻ പറഞ്ഞു. പക്ഷേ പോകാനായിട്ട് തിരിഞ്ഞ അദ്ദേഹം തിരിച്ചു ചോദിച്ചു, എനിക്ക് ലിറ്റിൽ വൺ അതായത് മിനിയെ ഒന്ന് കാണാൻ സാധിക്കുമോ എന്ന് ചോദിച്ചു. അപ്പോഴും അദ്ദേഹം കാബൂളിവാല റഹ്മാൻ വിചാരിക്കുന്നത് മിനി ഇപ്പോഴും ഒരു ചെറിയ കുട്ടിയായിരിക്കുമെന്ന്. ഞാൻ ഒരിക്കൽ കൂടി അദ്ദേഹത്തോട് പറഞ്ഞു, ഇന്നിവിടെ ഒരു സെറിമണി ചടങ്ങുകൾ നടക്കാൻ പോവുകയാണ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. അപ്പോൾ അദ്ദേഹം ഒരു പാക്കറ്റ് ഡ്രൈഡ് ഫ്രൂട്ട്സിൻ്റെ ഒരു പാക്കറ്റ് എടുത്തു തന്നു. അതിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് ഉണക്കമുന്തിരി, റേസിൻസ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, നട്ട്സ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, ആൽമണ്ട്സ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. എന്നിട്ട് പറഞ്ഞു, ഇത് മിനിക്ക് കൊടുക്കണം. ഇതേപോലത്തെ ഇത്രയും പ്രായമുള്ള ഒരു മോള് എനിക്ക് എൻ്റെ നാട്ടിലും എൻ്റെ മോള് ഇത്രയും മിനിയുടെ അതേ പ്രായമാണെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. ഇത് കേട്ട് എനിക്ക് വല്ലാത്ത വിഷമം തോന്നി, എൻ്റെ കണ്ണുകൾ നിറഞ്ഞു. കാരണം അദ്ദേഹവും എന്നെപ്പോലെ തന്നെ ഒരു അച്ഛനാണ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ മിനിയെ പുറത്തേക്ക് വിളിച്ചു. മിനി അവളുടെ എല്ലാ കല്യാണത്തിനുള്ള ഒരുക്കങ്ങളെല്ലാമായി മോടിയോടുകൂടി പുറത്തേക്ക് ഇറങ്ങി വന്നു. മിനിയെ കണ്ടപ്പോൾ കാബൂളിവാല ആകപ്പാടെ ഷോക്ക്ഡായി. അദ്ദേഹം എക്സ്പെക്റ്റ് ചെയ്തത് ഒരു ലിറ്റിൽ ഗേളിനെയാണ്. പക്ഷേ അതിന് പകരം ഇപ്പോൾ ഗ്രോണപ്പായ ഗേളാണ് വന്നിരിക്കുന്നത്. അതും വിവാഹത്തിൻ്റെ എല്ലാ അലങ്കാരങ്ങളോടും കൂടി വന്നിരിക്കുന്ന ആ കുട്ടിയെ കണ്ടപ്പോൾ തൻ്റെ നാട്ടിൽ തൻ്റെ മോളും ഇത്രയായല്ലോ എന്നോർത്ത് അദ്ദേഹം വിഷമിച്ചു. റഹ്മാന് അദ്ദേഹം കുറച്ച് പൈസ കൊടുത്തു. എന്നിട്ട് പറഞ്ഞു, നീ നാട്ടിൽ പോയി നിൻ്റെ കുട്ടിയെ കാണൂ, സന്തോഷമായിട്ടിരിക്കൂ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. അതിനുവേണ്ടി ഞാൻ വെഡ്ഡിങ്ങിൻ്റെ എക്സ്പെൻസിൽ നിന്ന് മിലിറ്ററി ബാനും ഇലക്ട്രിക് ലൈറ്റ്സും എല്ലാം ഒഴിവാക്കി ആ പൈസ ഞാൻ സേവ് ചെയ്തു. എനിക്ക് ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനം ഫീസ്റ്റായിരുന്നു. ഒരു സന്തോഷമുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ഒരു വിദൂരമായ ഒരു സ്ഥലത്ത് കുറേ നാളായി അച്ഛനെ പിരിഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു മോള് തൻ്റെ അച്ഛനെ കണ്ടെത്തുന്ന ആ നിമിഷം ഓർത്തിട്ട് അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് വളരെയധികം സന്തോഷം തോന്നി. Look at page number 21. Exercises. Let us understand. A. Who is the I in the story? We know that I is a father because he has a daughter named Minnie. What else do we know about him? Answer these questions. First question, what was he working on at the beginning of the story? Answer, he was writing a new novel. He was writing the 17th chapter of the novel. Look at second question, was he a patient or an impatient man? How do you know? Answer, he was a patient man. He listened to all his daughter's questions and answered them all without getting angry. Third question, what sort of a father was he? Answer, he was a kind and caring father. Fourth question, was he a man who was good to everyone, rich or poor? Answer, yes, he was a man who was good to everyone, rich or poor. Fifth question, was he a kind man? If so, give an example of his kindness. Answer, yes, he was a kind man. He helped the Kabuliwala by giving him some money, and because of this, he had to cut down the expenses for his daughter's wedding. So dear children, that's the end of today's class. You should read the lesson, that is the Kabuliwala 3 times, and write the new words 5 times each in your rough book. Thank you everyone. See you.